What's up? I'm just going to go ahead and jump right on into it. The argument is that white people are the ones who came up with the term black for us. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of different African languages to see if this is true. And this information that I'm about to give to you comes from Ochiame Obadale Kwame Kambon from abibitumikasa.com. He is an African linguist, speaks about 4 different African languages, Yoruba, Chui, which is the language of the Akan people, Wolof, and he is in the process of learning Kikongo, if I'm not mistaken. Again, this is from abibitumikasa.com, which is a African-centered learning institute online. So we'll start it off like this. From the Akan people, we have the term Abibifo. And breaking down this term, the African A prefix is added, as you can see there, to represent a person or an agent. Bibi is the term for black, which actually comes from the term biri biri, the root of it being biri, which means black, and it doubling is a function of like accentuating and making it a stronger term. So bibi basically means very black. Fo, the suffix fo, means people. And Kwame also notes here that it's also found in the term Abibiman, which is their term for Africa, literally meaning land of the blacks. Man, M-A-N, means nation or land. Moving on, we have the example of the Yoruba people with this term Adulawo. Once again, the African A prefix is added to represent a person or an agent, and we have the term Du, the root of it, which means black, as derived from the term Dudu, doubling once again signifying very black. And we also have Lawo, which means in color. And again, Kwame is also showing here that this term Ile Adulawo would be like the Yoruba's term for Africa, literally once again land of the blacks with Ile, meaning land. We move on from there to the Wolof people. We have the term Neat Nunul. Neat means person or people. Nu means who are and is a pluralizer. And some people, might recognize this if you study ancient Kemet or the ancient Kemetic language. This is a suffix that they used also as a pluralizer, nu, and it's used by other people as well throughout West Africa or variations of it. Nul means black, and this is also found in the term Rewu Nit Nunul, which is their term for Africa, literally once again land of the blacks. Moving on from there to the Kikongo speaking Bakongo people, the term for black hair is Bandambe. We have the African Ba prefix denoting a person or people, and Ndambe, which means black. And Kwame once again also notes that this is found in Nsia Bandambe, which is their term for Africa, literally meaning land of the blacks. Nsi equals land and A equals of. So that is just some of what it means, some of what blackness means in African languages to African people. I also want to take you guys through this real quick. Blackness for the Songhai people. We're just going to go through a couple of explanations and proverbs. The essentials of Songhai life. When crossing the Niger in a canoe, it is common for old people to ask for water to drink when the canoe reaches the deepest part of the river. At that point where the water is most clear and clean, Songhai people will say, "I knew Hari Bibi, give me black water." Here, Hari Bibi means plain, pure, potable water. The deepest part of the river offers the purest, most refreshing water. A Songhai proverb, Sadina labu sebo de kalanda bibi. The soil in a garden is not good for planting unless it is black. Also in Ga, which is located on the Greenwich Meridian, the sun reaches its highest point at 12 o'clock noon. That is when the Songhai people say the sun is black, or Waini Bibi, In this instance, Bibi refers to the fullest expression of the sun, to the brightest, most dazzling and radiant time of the day. This black sun symbolizes luminosity, unlimited and total expression. In the story The Hyena's Tale, it is said, once upon a time, Hyena went to see the village shoemaker to ask him to make a leather box for her gris-gris or amulet. However, Hyena was very concerned about what color the shoemaker would use to finish the job. So she asked the shoemaker, "Which color do you think I need? Because I want the brightest color, but also I don't want a color that fades." Without waiting for the shoemaker's answer, Hyena started choosing colors for herself. "What about red?" she asked excitedly. "Later on," replied the shoemaker, "it will turn dark." Then Hyena asked, "Well, what about green?" "It will change too," the shoemaker responded. "Then what about white?" asked Hyena. "If it gets wet, and you know how you always like to run through water, especially when someone is chasing you, it will be worse. The leather will get dirty and stained with dark spots," the shoemaker explained. "Well, yellow is very bright. What about yellow?" Hyena insisted. "In the long run," the shoemaker told Hyena, "all these colors will just turn black." Upon hearing this, Hyena, who had become rather exasperated, sniffed. "Well, why didn't you just tell me I needed to choose black in the first place?" The shoemaker said, "I couldn't tell you anything because you started out being too choosy and so concerned about colors. That's why I did not have a chance to tell you that black, Bibi, is the only everlasting color." So in the end, Hyena chose black for her gris-gris box. "Ah," sighed the shoemaker. "At last, this is a wise choice." Tiramafaya koro kan raaga koko. The gris-gris should be made with a leather box that lasts for good. The concept of black or blackness in Songhai. From these examples in the Songhai language, we can observe and conclude that black or Bibi symbolizes A. Beauty and totality, B. Purity and reliability, and C. Quality and durability. That black or blackness has represented such positive meanings in African society, such as Kemet, the Black Land, and Sudan, has been a fact of African civilization since ancient times. Before the Republic of Mali became independent in 1960, this part of West Africa was called French Sudan, in contrast to British Sudan of Khartoum, south of Egypt, or Kemet. Sudan means black in Arabic.